Welcome back, y'all. Lambo here, and today we're going over the hottest cards and sealed products of the sets that just went out with the G block and some of the other product and cards that aren't necessarily being printed or really distributed right now, just to kind of scale back some of the videos on the hottest cards and sealed products of the week just because it was getting so long and the videos were getting a little dragged out. So we're gonna try to space things out and break up the hottest cards and sealed product. And we're gonna start out here with some Scarlet and Violet base set, and we have the Drowsy IR, and this guy has pumped right back up to $65, and for the month it's up 38%. And we can see a lot of the asking price is well over that $60. And this card has just kind of found its way back up to the top. And obviously, this was one that got accused of manipulation. I think with a lot of the IRs, it's pretty fair to speculate that's what's going on. But I do think when it comes to the artwork, it is pretty fascinating and it actually looks pretty cool. So I think it's one that definitely makes sense that it's going up. And, once things start to go out of rotation and we stop seeing as much as a product, it definitely makes sense for it to start to go up. We also have the Waltz from base set, and it's up 32% for the month. And we can see 15 sold just today alone. So pretty decent amount, and market price is about $52. And this one kind of, I don't think it technically goes next to the Curlia and the Gardevoir. Like, they're not connective, but they definitely tell a story. So it makes sense that this card would be going up along with those ones, but this one is definitely the one that's gone up the most this week. We also have the Wiglet from base set, and this one has shot up 62% for the month. And we can see here on the 24th, so 3 days ago, 75 sold at about, what is that, like $15, and it's gone up to about $18 here. So nothing too crazy, but there are a lot of other Pokemon in this illustrator here. You can even see there's a Slowpoke back there in the background. Pretty cool. And you have Psyduck as well, along with Love Disc, Scalp, and pretty cool card when it comes to all the other Pokemon that are in the artwork. I don't think Wiglet, outside of being kind of a meme Pokemon, is that popular. But when you get this many Pokemon, especially a popular one like Psyduck in there, it makes a lot of sense for that card to go on a run. We also have the Scarlet and Violet Elite Trainer box with Miraidon. He's seen a little bit of a, not like a crazy buyout, but 23 were sold on the 21st there at about 130, and it's come up to 135, and we can see a lot of the asking prices, well into the 150, 160 dollar range, and it's doing pretty well compared to the Koraidon too. So I had to mention this one. We have the Pikachu with the gray felt hat, and this one for the month is up almost 15%, and we had 4 sold today alone, anywhere from $980 to $1,000. So the Pikachu gray felt hat is starting to go on a little move there, and we'll have to keep a close eye on if this card is going to continue to go up or if it's going to start to slowly trend sideways or down. But right now, up 15% almost. So the people that are really trying to corner this card, they're feeling pretty good right now. And we also have the Charmander promo here. This one's the Pokemon Center exclusive from Obsidian Flames. ETB is up 22% for the month, and we have a few sold here. Market price is $237, and we can see we're getting close to that $250 range. Pretty crazy, but such a good promo there. And we have Mousehold from Paldea Evolved, and this one is up almost 30% for the month. You can see quite a few sold today, and then a few more throughout the week. And most recent sale, it's getting close to $100. And when it comes to an IR, it's crazy that it's $100. But for whatever reason, people have just been going crazy for the Mousehold, and there's a very cute card with all the little families there hanging out, and you got the ones down there sleeping. So super cute artwork. Definitely makes sense why a lot of people love it. Had to throw in the Tinkaton here as well. It's up 40% for the month. We had a pretty decent amount being bought throughout the last few months. Nothing too crazy, but getting close to $60. Had to mention it. And I'm sure in person it's a beautiful card because, oh yeah, I didn't realize it's a SIR. So yeah, the texture on that probably goes crazy. Nice to see when a new Pokemon is up in that $50 range. And Tinkaton is definitely one of those new Pokemon that's pretty cool. And I threw in the Paldea Evolved Elite Trainer Box case, mainly because most recent sale is at $1,800, and we can see we're getting close to almost $2,000 there for a case of those Elite Trainer boxes. Definitely one that I think we could see a lot of movement, and I've heard a lot of people talking about how much they love Paldea Evolved, so definitely one to keep an eye out for. We have Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer box, the regular. Oh no, yeah, this is the regular. Wow, that like broke my brain that it was over $200, but definitely makes sense with that promo in there. And yeah, because all the other Elite Trainer boxes definitely aren't $200, but Obsidian Flames. Oh, I just forget that it's super popular now, even though no one cared at first. And market price $270. And we can see it's kind of flatlining, but we'll have to see if it gets another leg up here pretty soon. But great ETB. And then the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. It's kind of in the same boat where it's taking steps, but the month it's up almost 8%. Most recent sale though, pushing up to $700. Definitely could be seeing this up in that $700, $800 range before we know it, especially with Charmander right now and the other original starter Pokemon getting a lot of love right now. So would not be surprised to see this one continuing to go on a tear. And we had to throw in the 151 booster bundles just because they kind of have flatlined here at 180, but we're really starting to see that push to get it up to $200. And there is a lot of manipulation going on right now in the market, so we're seeing a lot of like fluctuation anyway. And I just had to throw this in because it's really trying to break out past $200. But definitely a hot product right now. I mean, it's still even selling here almost at $200, which is absolutely insane. So we'll be keeping a close eye on 151 for next week. And kind of the same story here with Groudon from Paradox Rift, where it kind of broke out past $100, and now it's kind of trying to break up into the 120 range here, and you have the most recent sell at $70, so just some shenanigans there. But we'll keep a close eye on it and see if it starts to push north of 120. But crazy that an IR is one of the top cards of the set there. And Tapu Koko from Paradox Rift as well is the SIR, and couldn't help putting this one in because it was chilling down here at $15 for so long. And on the 23rd, we saw 58 of these sold, and it's now up to $22. And we'll have to keep an eye on this one too to see if it, starts to run up and potentially could push up into that $50, $60 range. It's always interesting when you start to see some of these SIRs that are just super overlooked starting to go on runs here. But I've never actually seen one of these out in the wild, but I can imagine that the texture looks pretty cool on it. And kind of the same thing with Apom from Paradox Rift, where it's kind of just ballooned up. It's, $13 card, and then it just kind of ran up there to $21, and not an insane amount of them being sold, but whenever these IRs go on a run like this, I find it super interesting, especially when this card looks like it's one of those clay ones. But I don't know, could just have some really dedicated fans of Apom just buying them up. And the Paradox Rift Elite Trainer Box up almost 8%, and Paradox Rift, not the most popular set, but when it's up 8%, I think that's pretty interesting. And yeah, it was the Roaring Moon one there. And yeah, we'll have to see. I definitely think that it could be pushing 150 here before we know it. And then the banger right now, the set that I think is really getting ready to go on its push here, is Paldean Fates. And no surprise with it having Bubble Mew, definitely in the competition for the best card of the Scarlet and Violet. And I think once it hits $1,000, it's definitely going to be in the running there. But who knows how soon that'll be? It could be sooner than later. And it is up 18% for the month. We had a few selling back there at the beginning of April, and it's kind of just maintained, 840, 850 almost. We had a couple sell there. It looks like one on the 26th was at 875. So we're really getting close to that $900 mark, which is just absolutely insane, because I know that this card was easily around $100. I think people said even below $100. So insane, the disrespect for not only Mew, but a shiny Bubble Mew. Crazy work. And Gardevoir, same story, but this one is definitely shooting up quicker because it was somewhat undervalued at $120 a month ago, and now it's up 42%. Market price at 180, so we could see this card hitting 200 before we know it. And Charizard as well. We've been putting this on our buy list for, man, it feels like months, just because I felt like this Charizard was getting mad disrespected, being $200, and now it's well over $300 now. Well, $5 over, but I think it's only gonna continue to go up, especially with how popular Charizard is right now. And the same story with Pikachu. Pikachu is going absolutely berserk, and the shiny from Paldean Fates is up almost 50%. We had 5 sold today at $81. Well, yeah, $81 to about $90. And man, this could be $100 before we know it. Crazy. And then the Jigglypuff up 169% for the month. Nice. So market price $25. Man, insane, these shiny ones. And I feel like we could have went through all the shiny cards from Paldean Fates, but definitely had to just stick to the ones that went up the most. And we have the Mimikyu as well, up 183% for the month, and it's right in that $60 range. So Mimikyu, the Pikachu Imposter, also you know, following in Pikachu's footsteps. And another Pokemon that loves to copy other Pokemon is Shiny Ditto from Paldean Fates. And it's up 69%. Nice. And the most recent sale is $70. But we can see market price is about $50. And this one, we definitely, when it was around $20, we're saying it was a pretty good pickup. Once it hit about $50 was when I was definitely like, yeah, I'm out. I'm tapping out. That's too much for a Ditto for me, but I'm not really about Ditto like that. But Pokopia has definitely created a new craze, and it's going to be interesting to see with these sets that have rotated out if they're going to kind of chill out or if we are going to see them go on a big run. But I definitely think that Paldean Fates is probably going to be the next one to go on a run before maybe 151 kind of wakes up again. But let me know what you guys think. Which one of these sets do you think is going to go on a big run, or do you think maybe Pikachu Gray Felled Hat goes up to $1,000 before we see a big run? And I appreciate you guys stopping by, and you have a great week. Peace.